In the past 25 years, Project Kesher has influenced the rebirth of Judaism in a very hostile region.
Women of the former Soviet Union now have a seat at the table, whether in their government or in the Jewish community.
Project Kesher has given the women there a voice and a strength.
Project Kesher has empowered over 5,000 women to be all they can be.
Project Kesher is an organization and a group of women who are really just out there trying to do what I think sometimes women can do best, which is to talk to each other and be with each other and work with each other so that our lives can be a little bit better.
Project Kesher founder Sally Gratch and her husband Alan went to Moscow on a peace march in the 1980s. And as they walked from Moscow to then Leningrad, they met Svetlana Yakomenko, the director of the organization.
And she and Sally bonded. It was a time where the prevailing intelligence was that there were no more Jews in the former Soviet Union. And what they discovered was that there were Jews everywhere, and that there were Jews who wanted to reconnect, or to connect at all, to their Jewishness.
It's amazing to me that the meeting between Sally and Sveta was so beshert, as we say.
I think Sally was very much the visionary who started the model of bringing women together, joining them in groups. And Sveta, on the other hand, was more on the ground. In fact, one of her major accomplishments was recruiting more than 200 women for our first International Conference of Jewish Women. And she did this without a phone in her home. She went to the post office every day to call them.
Sally and Svetlana really were the vision and the force behind the creation of Project Kesher. But without the women we're honoring tonight and the thousands of women who've supported us and carried the torch, Project Kesher wouldn't be where it is today.
Not a lot of people believed in sending money and resources over to women in the former Soviet Union.
Susan Malloy intuitively knew that you had to reach Jews wherever they lived, and that no one answer was going to be right for everyone. So when others believed that the only proper answer was to get them out, Susan Malloy was willing to invest in the ones who chose to stay. Susan traveled with Project Kesher to the region several years ago, where she made sketches of everything she saw during the trip. By sketching Project Kesher's activism, Susan was able to give one more access point to the many people in the United States who've never had the ability to travel with us.
Without her support in the very early years, I don't know that we would be where we are today. I met Marty and two of her daughters, Linda and Judy, on the voyage of the Volga in 2004. And I was just enthralled by this incredible trio of women.
Marty Cohn-Spiegel was with Project Kesher at the beginning when nobody else really understood what we were doing. Marty was the person who went with us to the former Soviet Union, got on the trains, went out and met the women one-to-one.
Marty is truly an icon. Marty's work in domestic violence is really legendary.
She's really the one that broke through the taboo of being able to talk about domestic violence and being able to talk about it in a way that was honest and that was real, and in a way that made us say, this is something that we need to be able to talk about with ourselves and with the women that are there, and we have to be able to help them, and we have to be able to help ourselves.
And the work that is being done today should bring her great joy and pride, because none of it would have started without the seminal work she did in the very beginning. Eve Landau has brought so much to Project Kesher in her position as executive director of Mayan.
She had created this wonderful women's Seder, and when the people at Project Kesher saw it, they thought this is a fabulous model to transfer to the former Soviet Union. In countries that were pretty gray, all of a sudden there was sunshine.
Eve epitomizes through her being and her work what it means to be a Jewish woman, and to connect the ritual, the feminism, and strengthening the community.
Eve just brings such a wonderful spirit and such a wonderful, gentle, measured smile to everything that she does that it's just nice to be able to honor somebody like that. It's nice to be able to say, when you're sitting around the table, it brings all of us to the place where you are. And it's a really good and smart and sophisticated place to be.
It is very tough to fill the shoes of the founder of an organization, and Eunice Ward is one of the few people with the confidence and the skills to do so.
She set the standard for leadership, not only in the United States, but also in the former Soviet Union.
Eunice was willing to stay up all through the night to call every single community in the Project Kesher network to reach out to women. And I can remember vividly the first time we reached one of the communities, and because nobody in the room could speak English, they sang to us in Hebrew. And what they sang to us was the song Hine Ma Tov. And they sang it in the feminine, and they said how beautiful it is when women gather. And Eunice and I sat in her living room and cried.
Eunice is truly fearless. She is a strong woman who knows her voice and her place, and that is as a leader.
She is our devil's advocate. She pushes us and she makes us think about what we're doing and how we're doing it.
She will always be the voice of questioning, and I think that that's so very important.
Project Kesher has been extraordinarily fortunate because Joan Roth is the foremost photographer of Jewish women's causes globally, and the fact that she chose to give her time and energy to Project Kesher to document our evolution is simply extraordinary.
I'm an art collector. I collect some photography. So someone as brilliant as Joan is really a force to reckon with.
I have pictures that Joan Roth took of women meeting in small gray classrooms all over Ukraine, and it's just amazing to see how over a period of time the color seeps into those photos. And today you see these activists, and they're young and they're dynamic, and they basically leap off her photographs.
They always say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and she has been able to demonstrate the profound impact that Project Kesher has had, whether it's in religious life, whether it's about women's health, whether it's about other areas of activism, and for that we are eternally grateful to her.
I think we are so proud of all of the women that are being honored tonight. They have given so much to the organization. They have watched it grow. They've really nurtured it.
They were all willing to act outside their comfort zone to make change in the world.
These 7 women that we're talking about and that we're thinking about and that we're honoring, they in some ways mean perfection, and in some ways they open the door so that we can continue on and hope that there are 7 more and 7 more and 7 more. We needed Project Kesher when it started because it began between just 2 people who talked. I think that we need it today because it is now thousands of people who are talking, and I think that we need it 25 years from now because hopefully then it will be millions.